This video is going to be quite different from the regular video on this channel. I want to talk about how to get the premium membership for free, as in how to invest relatively small amounts of capital to get at least $125 per month. Prior to this video, I only published those approaches in the premium membership itself, but I believe it makes sense to also publish this here on YouTube. You can just copy trade those approaches and then after a few months, once you've made a few $100s, maybe use it for 1 month and grow your wealth further. That's the idea at least of the video. So here's the first approach. It's buying this chart. Now this is not just a regular cryptocurrency that you can buy into. This is Ethereum relative to Balancer. It's a chart that tends to go up over time, or in other words, Ethereum outperforms Balancer, and that's because Balancer has very bad tokenomics. More and more tokens hit the market all the time. And so with relatively little volatility, we can see nice appreciation. Now let's work with the bear case. Let's sell over here after a decline, and let's buy maybe 1 year prior to that in December 2023. So within 1 year, Ethereum outperformed Balancer by 83%. So that's our expected return. Of course, recently it's growing even faster, but let's be quote unquote conservative here. I still believe that this approach works, at least for the next year, potentially 2 years. Now, how much money do we need in order to make $125 per month? The answer is over here. It's $1,800. Now, how do we bet on Ethereum relative to Balancer? How do we bet on the Balancer token doing worse than Ethereum? The answer is we borrow Balancer tokens and we deposit some collateral. That collateral can be Tether, that collateral can be Bitcoin, whatever you like to hold long term. So you're depositing your collateral, let's say to keep things safe, it's a bit more. So let's say $2,500. You're going to the platform, you deposit 2,500 Tether. You're then searching for the Balancer token. So that's the one over here. You're borrowing $1,800 worth of Balancer against your collateral. What's happening then is that we've got a loan denominated in Balancer tokens. So we want the Balancer token to go down over time. We want that loan to depreciate over time. Depreciate against what? Against Ethereum, because Ethereum and Balancer have very high correlation to one another. That's why we see this constant outperformance of ETH relative to Balancer. So we borrow the Balancer, we get the Balancer in our wallet, and then we swap that Balancer to Ethereum. So we can use CowSwap for that. So that's swap.cow.fi. You're taking your 1,600 Balancer tokens, so roughly $1,800 worth of Balancer. You swap it to Ethereum, and then you deposit that Ethereum again on Aave. So you've got a loan in Balancer, you've got assets in Ethereum, and as Ethereum outperforms Balancer, your net worth on the Aave platform is going up. And then at some point you might want to unwind the position again, right? That's then when you swap back into Balancer token again, and when you pay off the loan and take out your collateral. So that's approach number one. You only need $2,500 to make premium completely for free. If you, of course, use more money, then you will make some gains from this. Nobody can say for sure that this will continue to work, but I think given the great history of past performance and given the bad tokenomics of Balancer, the likelihood of this working is very high. But I said at the beginning of this video that I want to share 2 approaches to make the $125. Now, this Balancer short relative to Ethereum is the more risk-on strategy. We only need $2,500 to make that work. There is a bit more of a risk-off strategy that tends to have less volatility. Now, when there is less risk, that obviously also means we need more capital. But then it depends, of course, how much capital you've got available. Here is the other strategy. It's providing liquidity on the Hyperliquid platform. Now, Hyperliquid is a decentralized perpetual futures platform. The link is hyperliquid.xyz. And you then go to the vault section, you click the HLP, and you're getting 14% APR. Now this is of course decentralized finance, and that does not come without any risk, but these 14% per annum, they are created through real trading, through real arbitrage. This is not just compounding of a random token that gets diluted over time. It's not a Ponzi scheme in any way. It's just taking advantage of market inefficiencies. Now what we see over here is the trading volume over time of decentralized exchange perpetual futures. It tends to be a growing market. Within that market, by far the largest platform is Hyperliquid. There are other protocols as well, but Hyperliquid is taking over everything. With 14% per annum, we need around $11,000 to make premium a free thing. So there you've got the reference points, how much money is needed to make premium worthwhile. It's not a portfolio of just a few $100s, but it's also not a portfolio of hundreds of thousands of dollars. It depends on your risk tolerance. If you've got higher of a risk tolerance, $3,000 can already be enough. But then there's of course also the trades that I personally do. Feel free to just copy trade me here, but it is of course more of an active approach. That's then when you want to get into the weeds. Really, the more time you're willing to invest, the more you're willing to learn, the more you're willing to go through all of those tutorial sections, the more alpha you can also expect from your investment. Again, once you've got a few $1,000s, it's worth to learn these things. So there you have it, free alpha here on YouTube, something I normally don't share. So looking very much forward to seeing you on Premium. The link is here on the right. Just click on that, will bring you to the sign up page, or potentially see you also again on YouTube next time. Cheers.